Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another hype day of playoffs. We are starting off the second week of playoffs here with our semifinal matches, and I'm joined here in the call with Mr. Psycho. How you doing?
Yo, 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 what's up, man? I'm doing pretty fine. How are you?
Doing good as well, and wouldn't have it any other way. The last matchup we casted was with Acceleration Diffusion, but that's Novice League. That's done and dusted. Right now, we're going to be looking at this prospect playoff bracket here. We're in the top semifinal matchup here. We got Velocity going off against Melons. Melons making their way through the Banshees with relative ease in a 4-2 game. And down on the bottom, Vipers making their way to go off against Origin later this week. And what are you thinking about this matchup here? Hello. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Psycho. I thought my internet went out for once, but
Hello, hello. Oh, I'm so sorry. I accidentally muted when I thought I was gonna unmute. My bad. Uh, but melons are really heavy hitting this season, or really heavy hitters, as everybody knows. Back to back grand finals winners. But I've been hearing through the grapevine that Velocity's been out here popping, and that melons really need to watch their back in this one. So I think that it's gonna be a tough matchup for them.
yeah, definitely. And JD, the own incentive, put 190,000 points betting on himself to win, and it's worked out for him so far. But Velocity, a tough opponent here that they're going to have to go up against. But actually, before we get into this one, our very own graphics people have come up with some community predictions here, and they actually got Velocity edging out Melons in the 7-game set 4-3 here. And I kind of got to agree with that.
I'm personally gonna disagree. I think it's gonna be the same. I think it's gonna be a game seven, but I think I'm gonna lean a little bit in favor of the Melons here. I think that they know that they've got some big shoes to fill, and I think that they're gonna come through in it.
Yeah, I mean it could go either way. We haven't seen Velocity on the pitch in quite a while. They've been sitting around for a week waiting for the second week of playoffs, although the advantage being they get an automatic bid to that semifinal spot. But we'll have to see if Midnight and the boys can take down the ever confident JD here in this matchup, as we're going to get them into the lobby right about now. We'll get the action underway here as the Melons with their their profile pictures, the synced up profile pictures never fail to amaze me. As starting it off, we got Foam going high off the backboard, can't find the read. Smooth not able to find the follow-up as well. A little bit of danger for Velocity here in the opening seconds, but keeping Melons at bay. As Foam off to the side. Nobody quite ready to follow this up, but Milk and Smooth both up. Smooth edging him out. As Toby off to the side, Midnight there in the midfield, but he can't find contact either. And these first 30 seconds, Psycho, a lot of opportunities that I feel like these players could have capitalized on by now.
I can't disagree there. I'm feeling like maybe people are playing a little bit with some nerves right now. You know, we're getting a little bit deeper into the playoffs, and there's no longer the ability to lose at this point. If you lose, that's it. You're going home.
Yeah, it is do or die. Melons, they had the second life. They didn't need to use it because they were able to beat the Banshees there in the upper quarter final. But now, all on the line from here on out. Do or die, winner home. And perhaps the pressure getting to them, especially since Velocity's been sitting for a while. I know they've done a few scrims here and there, but like we said, Melons, ever confident, betting on themselves, and always been a confident team as they've won the last 2 seasons in the Prospect League. And I think everybody's hoping they don't care who wins as long as it's not the Melons. As this is going to get started off here from Foam, and the Melons will take the lead.
Yeah, some unfortunate rotational issues right there with velocity. Tobatage going for a ball just a little bit too slow. He gets beat out by Vanilla Foam, who's able to put an easy one on open net.
Yeah, definitely. And just a little bit of a lapse in judgment there from Velocity. Gonna allow Melons to get on the board first here in this important game 1 to start off the momentum right. Although here, Melons in an awkward spot, but actually a little bit of a back pass to Midnight. won't work out. Now Milk in a somewhat of a bit of a 3v1. The ball high off the ceiling. Foam can't follow it up. JD trying to keep it in, but Midnight to the middle. Smooth looking for the double. But not the greatest touches. It ends up flying back straight over to Velocity player, but a series of boomer ball almost playing out in Melon's favor here. Smooth trying to keep this one going in this blue half, and a bit of a double commit. It's going to allow another big clear from Velocity. Foam once again able to get it out, and I think you're right, Psycho. The panicked play, there's not much passing or control. It's just see ball, hit ball at the moment.
Yeah, most definitely. Got to give a little bit of credit to the Melons here, as they seem to be controlling mostly the midfield. Smooth, able to pretty much block most of Velocity's attempts to get some offense going.
Yeah, definitely. It does seem like they have more control than the Velocity team. As far as the shot department is concerned, is hold on, here's Midnight, but he actually gets balled out from his teammate Milk. Another opportunity gone awry there for Velocity, but looking at the shot totals here, only 3-2. Although here's another big one, but a bigger save from Midnight to send that one away. And Velocity, they're holding on at the moment. Now back over. Foam with a big clear, but nobody on Velocity quite ready for this. As Foam's gonna get a bit of a weird pop into the blue corner, but nothing doing for them quite yet as Midnight looking for the follow. Not enough boost to follow it up, though. Milk taking to the dribble as last man. But Smooth again shutting him down. And again, Psycho, not a lot of shots, but you are absolutely right. The Melons are controlling the pace of this midfield here. Velocity, they got a little over a minute left to try and break that control.
And this could be it right here. They've got the open net. Wow, a big demo from Milk right there. Just going to open up the lane for Tobitage to put that in. But yeah, you're right, Bagels. Aside from that right there, Melons have pretty much been controlling the middle of the pitch in this game and not allowing Velocity to get a lot of offensive pressure, but they just turned the tides right there.
Yeah, no, here's another opportunity, but Midnight cutting that one off. But Foam with the follow. Couldn't find the accuracy either, but it was a big demo, but it was a bigger double commit from the Melons. JD and one of his teammates double committing in the midfield just allowed that opportunity to develop, letting Velocity back into this game after controlling the midfield so well for so long. But again, the pressure building in this blue half. Toby having to make a last second save. Keeping this one away for now, back into the corner, but another big whiff. JD gets the demo, but nobody can find the touch. He smoke screened his own teammate and himself. Smooth still trying to keep this one in with the ceiling shot. JD, the pre-flip, trying to get some sort of opportunity manufactured, but they don't want to overcommit just like they did a minute ago. Let Velocity have the last laugh. As now it appears the final seconds might be in Velocity's favor. Milk to the middle to Midnight, but the shot just off target into the corner. Still trying to keep this one in. Toby, high off the ceiling. Shot there for Midnight, but again, he can't find the accuracy. Maybe Milk might be able to get to this, but it will touch the ground, and the nerves are on the line here.
Yeah,
As
Velocity
hold on,
dropped.
Toby off the kickoff. Will secure it. No nerves on that shot, but definitely a lot of misaccuracy here in this opening game.
And I was just about to talk about Velocity's accuracy. They dropped the ball a couple of times. They probably could have easily beat Melons here 3 or 4-1, but they missed a couple of easy shots they probably shouldn't have missed. Not that it mattered, as they were able to come out on top there.
And that's a big game for Velocity to win. The shot margin did get a little bit more of a disparity. Velocity only coming up with 4, Melons with 7. Only a difference of 3, but still showing that Melons had the majority of the pressure, and we don't even need to look at the shots to see that. All of game 1, essentially, that ball was locked in that Velocity half, but a few counterattack goals, or just one counterattack goal, and that easy kickoff one allowed Velocity to take it away. But if you're Melons, I'd be pretty frustrated if I was JD not being able to close that one out on the other end as well, as it did seem like both teams missed some big opportunities there.
And that just kind of goes to show you how dangerous Velocity is. Even though they were oppressed during most of that match, they were still able to pull out a win.
Yeah, definitely a good fortitude to be able to stay toe-to-toe with Melons for so long after being locked in their defensive half. Although here's Melons being awkward, all three of them on the ball. Here's Toby putting the shot on, forcing a double commit, but once again the ball saved away into the Velocity half. Toby trying to get it out, but again, Smooth, perhaps the carry of this team, is continually shutting this ball up. I don't know too much about Foam, but I'm looking at Smooth as now Toby. Now Toby all the way back again. Smooth trying to follow it, but JD gonna cut him off. It's gonna be a bit of an awkward touch. Milk can't find it either. It's Toby to the middle. Foam has an open net to work with. Can he find the final touch? He's gonna edge it just over Milk's car, and they're gonna take the lead again to open this game.
Some really good pressure from Vanilla Foam right there, able to take it off the top of Velocity's car right there and then follow that in. Nobody from Velocity was expecting such an aggressive maneuver from them right there.
And definitely in Foam kind of just falling on the ball with no boost as Midnight is trying to look for a counterattack. But not able to find a shot as Milk struggling to find ball control here. But again, able to slip it past somehow, some way. Foam, not a great touch. Milk looking for the double. He's going to put it on past, and they will find the tying goal.
What an answer from Velocity right here. Milk absolutely finding the double past two defenders and showing us why he's got one of the biggest names in the Prospect League this season.
Yeah, definitely. And Milk been the hard carry for Velocity on the other side. We're talking about Smooth, but Milk definitely a big carry as well. But honestly, all the players on Velocity, solid players. But then again, on the other hand, we got JD, who's always found somehow, some way to win himself. Looking for the 3-time championship if he can find his way through Velocity here in this set. Although here's Midnight to the middle, running out of boost. A series of demos, not able to get enough to put that ball forward. And again, now Toby last back, dishing it straight out to Foam, who's going to put the shot on, but Milk able to get this one away easily. Big 50 though from the Melons. This one almost trickling its way in, and Smooth will confirm it.
Good pressure from Smooth there. We're seeing what he's been doing so far this entire series, which is just stopping them in the midfield, taking the ball from them, and then putting a shot on net. He was able to find the second touch off the ceiling bounce right there, and I expect nothing less from Smooth.
Yeah, that one may have just gone in himself, but Smooth able to secure that one and again find this lead, but they're gonna have to try and hold on to it here. A lot of time left for Velocity to come back in this matchup, and they will surely come back right here as they're gonna find the strange open net.
It looks like Melon's getting a little lackadaisical right there. Nobody back as the last man just kind of flops for the ball. I'm not sure what was going on. There had to be a communication breakdown or something.
Yeah, not quite sure what led to that lapse of judgment. As hold on, Velocity are going to find another kickoff goal, and Melons absolutely not able to hold on to their lead.
And we're seeing right here, right now, why Velocity is so dangerous. I mean, what at least 2 goals in a matter of seconds. Melon's going from winning this situation to losing, and now they got to be on the comeback.
Yeah, certainly, although another big counterattack opportunity, but Foam just getting beat out from Milk. Big defensive stand from there. Off the kickoff, Midnight not able to find contact, and 2 players come up for Melons. They couldn't find a touch as well. Toby to the middle. This Foam sending this one away, losing ball control, but JD trying to recover it. Smooth keeping this one in. JD with another big demo. Coming out of the net, trying to find the goal, but popped up too high. And again, another big opportunity gone awry off a good JD demo play. As Smooth trying to keep it in. He will do so as Midnight rotating to his back corner, picking up the boost, taking to the dribble, but Foam again shutting this down. And a double commit pinch, actually going to work out in Velocity's favor. Another big bump from Smooth, able to keep that one away. Go. The chaotic playstyle of these two teams has not changed whatsoever. Just now off to the side, Smooth. They keep this one away, but a big bump from his two teammates. Not going to be able to put that one in though. Now Toby to the middle. Milk getting 50'd out from the side. And again, Midnight high off the backboard, but not able to find it. But a big shot from Milk is going to put in another one, and Melons are falling apart.
It's quite unfortunate. Smooth trying to get the clear, but Milk is just going to find that ball in the midfield and put a banger on net. Two of the Melons players back and just not positioned correctly to make that stop.
Yeah, definitely. And Melons just unable to hold on to, as they were fine. They found themselves multiple times in the lead in this game, and they just unable to hold on to it. And if Velocity can hold on to this one, and surely they will with a 2-goal lead with 20 seconds left, this will be big momentum for Velocity, and Melons are going to be trouble to find their way back into this series. So it looks like this one continued to be locked in. This Melons half will spell a Velocity victory. And final seconds will be going to Velocity. And Psycho, I'm not sure if this is what we were expecting. There's still plenty of time to come back in the series, but 2-0 down is not where you want to be if you're the Melons.
That is definitely not. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly with that. That's not where you want to be as the Melons, especially with the way that Velocity has been showing up this season. You know, you want the early momentum on them in this situation, but you know, as it stands, they don't have it. So Melons is going to have to figure something else out. They got to put those 2 games behind them, and they got to move forward with the next 4 games.
Yeah, definitely. And they weren't even out of either of these 2 games. Definitely close at just unable to find consistency there on the defense between each other. And I don't even feel like Velocity's beating Melons. It's kind of just looks like the Melons are beating themselves.
I don't disagree with that. As you were saying earlier, the chaotic play style, we started to see a sort of breakdown with the Melons. You know, panic starts to set in at some point. And when it's this early in the series, you definitely got to sort of shake that off and move forward, or you could be looking at a complete sweep.
Yeah, definitely. But still, 2-0 in the lead, or 2-0 down, not in, unable to find the accuracy himself, and it's kind of been the name of the game all series for both of these teams, just trying to find the accuracy to hit their shots, as both teams have struggled with that in these opening 2 games. Now ball loitering in this blue half, Midnight kind of cutting off his teammate in Toby, but still able to work their way out of defense for now. Toby trying to get a pass to the middle, down to Milk with Foam, sending it away. But again, this ball now locked in the orange half. Midnight up early, trying to put the shot on, but high off the backboard. Milk getting blocked out as well. Surely Toby will put this one in, and he will.
Some really, really good offensive pressure from Velocity right there. Not much that Melons could do beyond what they actually did. A couple of rotational things that could have been changed, but Velocity absolutely pelting that backboard and applying enough pressure to put that one in.
Yeah, ever since that opening kickoff, that ball was locked in that Melons half. And just opportunity after opportunity, finally able to be sent in. This again, this one back onto the orange half. JD with a little bit of a subpar clear. But Midnight passing over to Toby. But a weak touch will allow Melons to get involved here. But a big double commit, giving JD last but he will pop this one high. Midnight up early again, high off the ceiling, but nothing really resulting from that play. This Milk with a big 50. Toby unable to get there in time to put a shot on. Is now Midnight up early again. It seems like every time I'm looking at Midnight, he's just pre-jumping, and I'm not really sure it's working out for him. He's getting a lot of weak touches at the moment, and just kind of putting his team in awkward spots, but it's working out for him so far as Toby from the corner is going to keep the ball rolling for Velocity.
I'm not sure what was going on with the Melons right there. JD pushing up pretty far whenever he didn't have anybody behind him, leaving the net completely open as Velocity was able to just slip it right past him.
Yeah, and perhaps a little bit of a mistake coming out. It's looking like time and time again, JD is being put in awkward spots as third man, as there's another big double commit between Smooth and Foam, and it just looks like JD is put in these 2v1, perhaps even 3v1 situations, and not a good spot you want to be in, especially when you got players like Toby and Midnight and Milk all bearing down on your net. And I can't help but feel like he's not the only one to blame here, but still, a lot of time left to work with in this game. It's Midnight putting one on, but Foam again off to the side. Toby recharging in, but a big save. Series of backflips from the Melons players and whiffs galore, eventually getting it out of their half. So now Toby looking to follow up his own touch, but Foam pressing this one out of the defense. A big hit from JD, but shot was a little low to get that one over Midnight. And a big challenge in the midfield. Foam trying to follow it up. It's now Smooth racing into the corner, finding the bump on Milk. JD off. High off the backboard. Where's the follow-up for the Melons? But nobody there as Milk will send it away again. And Psycho, it's just, you talked about oppression. It's just absolute suffocation. Melons, they got one shot in just over 3 minutes.
Yeah, we've seen the completely opposite Melons in this third game. They are, as you said, oppressed at this point as Velocity is just shoving their offense down their throat. They can barely breathe, but with a minute 30 left on the clock, they still got time to bring this game back. They got to lift their heads out of the water for some air.
Yeah, definitely, and it's not due to lack of trying. They're trying all the demo plays, the bump plays. Haven't really seen too many passes, but they're definitely going for these challenges and getting the 50s. So here's JD trying to manufacture something. Smooth up, looking for the double. Unable to find it as Foam putting it straight into Toby's hood on the ground. And again, just can't find a shot on this Velocity net. They're going to have to find two here to work with, or they're going to find themselves down 3-0 in the series. Put in the reverse sweep situation in a best of 7, which is all too deadly to try and come back from. But it's looking like that might be the case, as once again, Midnight to the midfield, to Milk, and he's gonna slot it in. Back post and Velocity are just dominating right now.
And I hate to bring JD's name up again because I'm not trying to blame him for the entirety of this loss, but he did not stop back post right there, which unfortunately, if he had, he would have had an easy save on his hands.
Yeah, definitely a lapse in judgment there from JD. But at that point, already down 2-0. But perhaps could have kept the lead manageable. Maybe a counterattack could have resulted, but Velocity, it's been all Velocity here in this game 3. And they've just looked unstoppable. As once again, they just look like the more cohesive unit, getting these outfield and infield passes to each other, trying to get each other involved in the play on offense and defense, and it just looks like Melons they're just not working together. They're just looking to hit the ball and clear it however they can. And against this Velocity team, it's just not working for them. And now they're down 3-0 in the series.
Yeah, not the position you want to be in as a Melon or a Melons fan. This is about probably the hardest position that the Melons have had to be in since their inception. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and climb out of this hole.
Yeah, if JD has any hope of becoming the 3-time champion, not only the 3-time, but 3 championships in a row, he's going to have to pull himself out of the reverse sweep scenario and find 4 straight game wins. And we all know that it's not going to be an easy feat, but if anybody could do it, it is JD. If there's a will, there's a way. And not that it's a big deal, but he's got 190,000 channel points on the line. But the bigger deal is going to be the pride and the clout of winning and prospect a third straight season in a row for himself. But
Imagine 3 back-to-back championships, the 3rd one you had to reverse sweep on a best of 7. Woo! I don't know. It might have been scripted.
we wouldn't want
They
to give
might have
JD
lost
any more
their
ego, though.
That's true, that's true.
But if he did, I mean, it'd be pretty. He'd be cemented in Nemesis lore, as much as we might hate him
You
for
have
it.
to.
But it would
You
be
have
quite the
to.
feat. I'd have to give him props.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to.
But it's all going to have to start here in Game 4 for the Melons to try and mount this comeback. Starting again off the kickoff. Velocity already locking their way in this Melons half. Smooth trying to get it out. JD coming in. Switching from the Fennec to Octane. Maybe that could be a start for him. It's now Smooth, big save. A bigger backflip to get this one out. But once again, Melk charging in to keep this one in. Toby on the quick follow-up, and it just doesn't stop rolling for Velocity.
Velocity with some really good pressure right there. Milk getting demoed, but Toby Taj just right there, able to clean up his teammates' effort, and Melons just not expecting Velocity to be that quick.
I'm not really sure who was last back right there, but caught a little bit flat-footed, and I don't really blame him. It was a quick 50 off from the side, and Toby on the opposite side. Toby up, neither finding a touch as here's Smooth off the backboard. JD there, putting the shot on, but Toby with a good save off to the side, and again off the backboard from Smooth, trying to set up his teammates, but ball lofting a little bit too high above that net for JD to try and make a decision to get in on that play, but a big 50 again, trying to put Velocity on the back foot for once in this series ever since Game 1, but continually Toby and company here for Velocity are able to send each of these opportunities away. And I mean, I'm not sure what you've seen, Psycho, but other than double commits and maybe passing to each other a little bit more, what do the Melons have to do here in Game 4 to try and start this reverse sweep?
I think accuracy and pressure are the 2 biggest things that they're lacking right now. They're not playing like the Melons normally play. They're missing a lot of balls that you wouldn't expect these guys to miss. And I've seen a lot of balls that go in front of the net like that right there, and JD just not in the right position to sort of get to that ball. He had an open net to shoot on. So if they can clean those things up, then they can easily still be in contention for this.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the pressure. It does seem like the way that they're playing, I've mentioned it a few times, but they're just throwing the ball away and just trying to get hits onto this blue half to relieve the pressure that Velocity have on their side. And just thinking it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back as another big clear, almost finding its way into the Melons net. And surely that could have spelled the end of the Melons there with a big 2-0 lead just entering halftime, as they're double committing here in this corner. Milk in an awkward spot, letting Toby take it away from him. Midnight not in a good spot either, but once again, like you said, the Melons just not in position, not expecting these misses from Velocity in these awkward situations, and they're going to have to start, unfortunately, playing with a bit of an aggressive, even more aggressive than they already have playing. They got to just put themselves in spots that the Velocity players are not expecting, and they're going to have to play unorthodox here to just find a goal at this point, Psycho.
Yeah, and Velocity knows that, and Velocity can just really just hang out and just play patty cake with the ball and just touch the ball and try their best to keep the ball away from the Melons. They don't actually have to play the game right now. Melons have to do all of the sweating.
Yeah, definitely another opportunity there from JD, but Toby sending it out and away. And this hasn't even been a dominating shooting performance from Velocity. Like you said, they've kind of just been playing keep away for most of this series. I don't even think they've touched double digits in shots in either one of these 4 games. They've just been keeping ball control more often again, Melk playing it slow, trying to put the Melons players in awkward spots. Is now final minute here, do or die for Melons. And more importantly than the trying to come back in this reverse sweep, it's going to be pride for JD at this point to be swept out in the semifinals, which would be a first ever for him. And it's going to have to start here, but once again, these Velocity players all over this ball, but Midnight up early is going to put the Velocity players in an awkward spot, but Toby, once again, able to get back in time. JD rushing in, finding another big demo foam there, but high off the backboard again. JD getting beat out, smooth last man, getting bumped and demoed. Once again, JD trying to manufacture an opportunity, but zero boost, nothing doing. And these Velocity players, they're just all over, and they're going to find the open net. Wait, hold on, they're not. Midnight bumps Toby off. Now Melk in the 1v1.
Oh,
He's going to get seconds for both teams. Maybe one more opportunity here for the Melons. Net open, foam races in, and he takes an opportunity away from his teammates. And Velocity to somehow, some way, escape with a victory in that game 4.
so close. So many dropped opportunities from the Melons right there. Really, really unfortunate to see as, yeah, you got to go home, you know? Not back to back to back championship winners. Velocity is going to take that one and move forward to the grand finals.
Yeah, definitely, and not how you want to see the Melons go out. Not even really without a fight. Some of the games pretty close, but honestly, for every one of these 4 games, it seemed like Melons had 5 shots or less. And I think they may have had 7 shots in the first game, but every other game, they just weren't able to manufacture any offense. And Velocity, they didn't have that many shots either, but just able to keep ball possession in that Melons half more often than not. And JD and company, they just fell short. They just fell flat there. I'm kind of disappointed in that performance from them.
Yeah, I think Velocity just played a really solid ball game. You know, they took it slow. Anytime they had the ball, they took control of the ball and they did something useful with it. And when they didn't have the ball, they had solid defensive rotations and solid defensive touches. So they didn't have to worry. They had a brick wall in front of their net and they were going to send the ball out of their defensive zone every time they touched it.
Yeah, I mean, Velocity definitely looked like the more competent team in that series, and definitely that competency is going to allow them to get that good sweep on the Melons, securing their trip to the grand finals. And we're going to have to, as we're going to try and take a look at the bracket here for Prospect. That was a much quicker series than I was anticipating, but we're going to have to try and look at the other match there, which I believe is going to be Origin against Vipers, to find out who's going to be the opponent there. And I know we're going to find out on Wednesday, Psycho, but I think most people got Origin meeting the now Velocity in grand finals. Who you got coming out of that matchup down there?
Oh, Vipers, 150%. My boys Vipers are on fire right now. The game that they played on Saturday was just amazing, and they're down one of their biggest players, Jay, and he's not going to be returning for the rest of the playoffs from what I've been hearing. So it's not going to be easy for them to beat Origin or Velocity, but I think my boys is going to pick it up this season.
I mean, it's definitely possible. Edging out a Game 7 victory over Faded there in the lower round one, moving on to the quarterfinal, getting a very convincing win over the Banshees in a 4-1 fashion. But Origin, no slouch themselves, and similar to Velocity in the Melons series, we saw Melons coming in looking hot, and perhaps Vipers coming in hot as well. But could be up to Origin to shut down that Vipers momentum just as easily as we saw Melons get swept in this series. But either way, I'm going to be looking forward to that series coming up on Wednesday later this week. But we got plenty more matches coming up for y'all on this Monday night. The content a little bit lacking in this first series. We saw the sweep, but a good win from Velocity. But coming up next, we're going to be heading on to the Novice League, looking at that semifinal matchup. We got Whelps versus the all too mighty Acceleration. Will Acceleration's momentum continue, or will the Whelps shut them down just like Velocity did the Melons? You don't want to miss it coming up next.